Hey, welcome back to the channel. Got a little something on the bench for you here. So it's time to replace the internal battery on this radio. I've had this radio for quite some time. I have some batteries here, so I'm just going to go through kind of an in-depth taking this apart and replacing the battery inside. So that's what this is about. So stay tuned. So we just go over here, see it's RTC battery low, and then if you look right here, check RTC voltage. See that's 0.52, you see that? 0.52. So that's not going to work out too well. So we'll go ahead and open this up and get the battery replaced. So the first thing we're going to do is power off the radio, and then we'll pop our external module off. Alright, set that aside. We'll go ahead and pull these side grips off. If you don't have any fingernails, you can use one of these. Kind of makes it a little easier to get in there and just peel it off here. So there's 3 tabs. You mean zoom in on that for you? Let me zoom in on that. Alright, so here on the side of the radio you see the side tab. It's going to be 3 tabs there, and then the bottom is going to have just a bunch of like little nubs, and then there's a track. So that track slides in, so it just comes straight out. Once you get these tabs pulled, they just pop straight off of there. So let's get the other side here, and we just got a couple screws on the front top here. So these are going to be, we got our 2.5 hex drive. So these will be the first 2 to come out. And then we'll set them dudes aside so they can't get lost. And then that just kind of hangs out the way. Don't pull it out, because there's a RX wire that goes to your internal module. I like to use a piece of foam so that way my stick ends and my switches don't bang around on the counter. Let me go ahead and zoom back out for you. Alright, the next thing we're going to need is a number 1 Phillips screwdriver. Go ahead and take the 4 screws out here. You know, it's a lot easier if you have your screwdriver magnetized. I don't know if you've ever seen one of these at the hardware store. You just take your screwdriver, rotate it around inside here. That'll magnetize it, and then this end will demagnetize it. So it makes it a lot easier to get the screws out of the holes there. And then we have 2 up here. Right here. And then we'll go ahead and take our battery out. Now we should be able to pop that dude loose. Now we have to be careful when we're raising this up, because we don't want to pull on anything in there. That's it. There's nothing on the version that I have. There's no extra wiring, so the back just pops right off, no problem. So that's the little battery right there. Let me go ahead and zoom in on it for you. So before we get into replacing the battery, I just want to show you something real quick. Do you see this bus cable right here? So this is the internal module. Okay, so that's your internal RF module, and in my case it's a 4-in-1. It could be ELRS, it could be CC 2500. But you see that cable right there? I want you to inspect that. And this needs to flow. Let me zoom in on it so you can see what I'm talking about. So this bus cable right here, if you don't have this thing tucked in just right, the case, like on the inside of the case here, you can see this ledge right here from the battery tray. That ledge right there can cut that cable, and if it does, or it smushes 2 of them together, it can short that cable out, and then your RX module acts really funny. So I just wanted to let you know that. Alright, so we got a good zoomed in on our little battery here. You see this little, so I like to use tweezers that are nylon. I don't like using metal in here, but you see this little retaining tab. So if we just pull that out of the way just a little bit, that battery will come out of there. I don't really want to flip it out of there, but that's the battery right there. So let's go ahead and zoom back out and take a look at all that. So right now we just reset our clock and our date on our radio, so that's not going to be functioning now. Let me go ahead and zoom out and look at our battery here. Alright, so let's go ahead and measure our battery real quick. We have our new ones here. So we have our trusty multimeter out. I really can't say enough about having a multimeter. I think if you're doing anything in the hobby, having one is a good thing. Let's see if I get this screen to tilt just right for you, so you can see it. So we'll just put our lead on the negative on the underside here, positive. And you can see that's somewhere in the millivolt range, okay? So definitely dead. That should be 3.0 volt, and right now it's saying 77.5 millivolts. So this battery is definitely shot. So let's go ahead and open up a new one and we'll measure it real quick. These batteries I got from Amazon, so go ahead and open this dude up. It's kind of cool to have like a little stock on all kinds of batteries, right? Alright, so we'll just go ahead and measure this dude up. We'll hold on to our negative on it here, and we'll go ahead and grab the voltage there. So now we're at 3.32 volts, so we should be rocking and rolling with the new one. We'll go ahead and put some tape on him and put him in the recycle pile. Let me get this out of the way. I'll go ahead and get this back in square for you, and let's go ahead and zoom in. And we're just going to simply put this dude back in. So go ahead and pop him down in here. Alright. So we just seat the back first and then squeeze him in there so that little lever pops over it. And I'm just going to give that little lever a pull back here. So that little, we don't want to bend it too much and break it or pull it out of the holder. But I want to make sure that dude don't come loose. So if I were to drop or bang my radio against something, I don't want that. So there we go. So it's all retained in there. It's not going to come out. And we got us a new battery. So let's go ahead and look at the specification on the battery. So that is a CR1220 battery, and it's 3 volt. Okay, let me zoom out for you. Alright, so simply enough, the only thing we got to do is put it back in the same order. The only thing you need to make sure that you remember when you're putting the back on it is to make sure that these pins, you can see these pins right here, these pins protrude up through the back of the case here, through that hole right there. See that hole there? So they come up through here. So when you put this back together, you just want to make sure that those pins protrude. I just laid it right down there. So you put these two back in, you put these two back in, and then you get this all wired back up. Alright, we got everything put back together here. Go ahead and turn it on real quick, and we're just going to check to make sure all is square.
Hey, Propsoff, when are you going to fly now?
Alright. Ain't going to fly nothing right now. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. Alright, so we go ahead and hit System, and we'll page back to Hardware, and now you can see here we got 3.31 volts. So our internal battery is up to snuff, and we can go ahead and page over to the main screen, radio setup, and we can go ahead and change our date and time, and it should all stay in there the way it's supposed to. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know in comments, and hopefully this video helped you out to replace your internal battery. If it did, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you hated it, you give it a thumbs down. It all works. Enjoy the breeze.